Hello, knowledge seekers. In this episode of 20-Minute Books, we delve into Clearer, Closer, Better by Emily Balcetis. This insightful book provides readers with strategies to reshape their vision and perception to achieve success. Emily Balcetis, armed with a PhD in social psychology and an established career as an associate professor at New York University, leverages her expertise in vision science and motivational psychology. Through a tapestry of compelling case studies, she demonstrates how small shifts in our perspectives can yield significant differences in our ability to conquer challenges and reach our targets. This book is not just for academics but speaks to anyone with a goal, professionals bogged down by minutiae, or the curious individual eager to explore innovative methods of perception. With over 70 scientific publications and a litany of awards to her name, Dr. Balcetis gives us a convincing tour of how we can transform the way we look at our world, and in doing so, how we live in it. Clearer, Closer, Better is for those who aspire to break through barriers and those ready to adopt a new lens to move forward with clarity and purpose. Join us as we summarize the vital takeaways from this empowering guide to reaching our fullest potential. Clearer, Closer, Better: How Successful People See the World. Introduction. Unlock the visual secrets to success and surmount life's hurdles with ease. Imagine peering through a lens that only captures part of the scene before you. That's how our eyes work, providing incomplete visuals that our minds tirelessly embroider with details. This doesn't just shape the way we view a sunrise or a painting. It influences critical decisions we take at every turn. We might not notice the gaps, but they're often brimming with misconceptions that lead us astray. But here's the twist. Where our vision falters lays a wellspring of potential. By grasping the quirks of our own perception, we can shift our viewpoint and transform our challenges into stepping stones. It's like adjusting the focus on a camera, bringing not just the problems, but the solutions into sharper relief. There's a thread common to the top echelons of achievers. They've mastered the dance between what their eyes see and what their brains interpret. This narrative will unveil the perceptual strategies underpinning their success. It's an exploration of how the chasm between perception and reality can be a playground for innovation and efficiency. Dive into this journey, and you'll discover the quartet of visual tools that trailblazers deploy to propel themselves forward, the intricate dance between how we perceive our world and what drives us to pursue our passions, and the overlooked virtue of embracing missteps as part of the path to triumph. Part 1. Zeroing in on specific targets can catapult you to your most ambitious goals. The marathon stretches out like an endless ribbon of determination, lined with thousands vying for glory. Among the sea of runners, one runner, Joan Benoit Samuelson, knew something crucial that others didn't. Success could hinge on the simple act of narrowing her visual focus. Instead of becoming overwhelmed by the daunting 26.2 miles, she focused solely on overtaking the next runner. And then, the next. This approach wasn't merely a tactic. It became the keystone to her historic victory as she grasped the Olympic gold in 1984. This tale illustrates a profound concept. Locking in your gaze on a specific sliver of your larger ambition can make the once impossible seem attainable. This fundamental visualization strategy is about more than just athletics. It has the power to enhance the pursuit of any long-term aspiration. Consider the gym, a common battleground for personal goals, where an intriguing study shed light on the power of a focused gaze. Researchers significantly increased participants' weight and instructed them to walk towards a finish line. One faction of gym-goers fixed their sights resolutely on that line, while another group was free to let their eyes wander. The results? Those with a narrow focus perceived the finish line to be substantially closer, expended less energy, and reached it far more swiftly. The practicality of this approach isn't limited to physical domains. it holds weight in the more abstract facets of life, too. Take financial planning, for instance. The concept of saving for retirement seems less abstract and more urgent when individuals come face to face with their future selves. When young adults were presented with aged versions of themselves through digitally altered photographs, the future suddenly crystallized. Confronting their older selves, they pledged to earmark a higher percentage of their salary for retirement compared to those who only saw their current likeness. This notion of keeping your eyes firmly on the metaphorical prize is more than a mantra, it's a cornerstone of success. And yet, it is but one of the assortment of visualization tactics that the accomplished wield in their arsenal. Part 2, turning abstract aspirations into tangible plans, paves the way to achievement. Envision yourself embarking on a dream vacation. You wouldn't just think about the sandy beaches and neglect to book your flights or check visa requirements, right? Absolutely not. In a similar vein, when you chase an ambitious dream, meticulous preparation is the secret map that guides you to your treasure. Visualizing your aspirations isn't just about knowing your destination. It involves carving out the path to get there. Consider Gary Hall Sr., a swimming titan with 3 Olympic gold medals to his name. His coach didn't just urge him to swim faster. He etched Hall's speed targets onto his daily practice kickboard. Each stroke through the water was a stroke toward the concrete numbers staring back at him, keeping his goal tangible and within reach. It's not just about envisioning the end goal, but focusing on the actionable steps to get there, a tactic underscored by research conducted by UCLA psychologist Shelley E. Taylor. Taylor's findings among college students revealed that those who dedicated time every day to imagining the specific actions they would take to study for exams tended to outperform and study more than their peers who simply daydreamed of acing the test. Embracing potential setbacks is another dimension of materializing goals. Mistakes are often the scaffolding to success. Progressive companies like Tata Group understand this. Their Dare to Try award doesn't admonish failure. It celebrates courageous ventures even if unfruitful. When employees are liberated from the fear of failing, it emboldens them to push boundaries, innovate, and sidestep comfort zones. So you've crystallized your aim and you're ready to embark. But what's the most strategic method to launch your journey? Stay tuned for the next chapter in Unlocking Your Goal Achievement Blueprint. Part 3, track your progress meticulously to maximize success. The catchphrase, no pain, no gain, isn't just a workout mantra. It's a clarion call to action across all endeavors. Yes, success demands effort, but how can you be certain that your efforts bear fruit unless you measure them? Holding yourself answerable to your endeavors significantly boosts your odds of realizing your ambitions. Yale graduate Mike Lee stumbled upon a goldmine strategy when prepping for his beachside wedding conjured a desire to shave off some pounds. A personal trainer equipped him with a comprehensive food nutrition catalog and a notepad, tools for Mike to record his daily caloric intake. Adhering to this regimen wasn't just onerous, it became the bedrock of his weight loss plan, validating the findings of a study that heralds the unmatched benefits of keeping a detailed food diary. Yet, the analog approach wasn't cutting it for Lee. He yearned for something less labor-intensive, and thus the seeds for MyFitnessPal were sown, a digital haven for calorie counting that ballooned into such a sensation it caught the eye of Under Armour to the tune of $475 million. Now let's shift gears to Carrie Smith Nicholson, who at 25 found herself grappling with a crippling debt. Owing $14,000, she strategically employed a debt calculator to trace her fiscal footprint, a digital overseer of her past saving victories, and a vision board for future fiscal triumphs. The result? Within 14 months, she turned the tide on her debt. The evidence is compelling. Mining through your past endeavors, laying each milestone bare, can bring into sharp focus the areas that need more attention or adjustment. When you maintain a scrupulous log of your actions against your set goal, stepping stones to success don't just form, they illuminate the path ahead. Part 4. Steer your gaze towards success by selectively focusing your attention. Perhaps you've noticed how often a spontaneous treat ends up in your shopping cart, one that wasn't on your list at all. Supermarkets are the maestros of temptation, strategically placing sweets and snacks where they're most visible, right at the checkout. It's a potent reminder that what we see shapes what we prioritize and pursue. Directing your gaze judiciously can be instrumental in maintaining your resolve and reaching your objectives. Take US legislators, for instance. Amidst the political hustle, you'd be surprised to know that the first day scramble at the Capitol often revolves around choosing a seat. The tactical maneuvers for prime chamber real estate aren't about the view, but visibility, to the presiding officer who controls the microphone. Senator Orrin Hatch, with his tenure and clout, could sit anywhere, yet he opted for a strategic aisle seat that provided quick access to recognition and therefore influence. For Hatch, being spotted could tilt a political debate in his favor, exemplifying that where you are seen can be as consequential as what you see. Think about the almost magnetic pull of a smartphone flashing with a new message just as sleep beckons. Despite intentions to reduce screen time, the sight of the glowing device usually wins, nudging you towards a late-night scroll. This principle isn't lost on retail giants like Walmart. Their shelves, sagging under the weight of a plethora of products, became a blueprint for boosted sales. Shoppers, enticed by the visual feast, often bagged items they hadn't even considered buying. A venture into a more minimalist shelf setup led to a notable drop in sales. The visual feast was the secret ingredient. So, how do we break free from this visual spell? Awareness is the first step. The next is crafting an environment that nudges you towards healthier, more goal-oriented actions. It's about your line of sight, yes, but also about recognizing and managing the emotional cues evident in the expressions of those around us, a fascinating area we'll explore next. Part 5. Interpreting the nuanced emotions of others can enhance your interactions and pave the way for growth. It's a prevalent belief that a positive self-image is the fuel that powers success. Picture this. A staggering 95% of individuals in a survey endorsed this assumption. Yet, the scientific consensus firmly disputes this idea. After all, confidence alone doesn't elevate the caliber of your endeavors, nor does feeding into self-esteem translate to better academic performance for children. It's a misstep to equate positivity with perpetual motivation. When undeserving work is met with applause, it risks instilling complacency instead of fostering ambition. Focus on this. Assessing others' emotional signals accurately, including those that aren't particularly encouraging, benefits not just interpersonal relations, but overall productivity as well. However, parsing through the emotional mosaic of human expressions is no simple task. Vision research posits that happiness, with its unmistakable cues, is nearly always correctly identified, but other emotions elude quick detection. Take fear, which plays a game of masquerade with surprise, or anger, which can be shrouded by the veils of sadness or disgust. So how does one become an adept reader of emotions? Pay heed to the eyes. These windows to the soul can delineate the sincerity of a smile. It's the crinkles of true joy versus the dutiful stretching of lips. Passing fear from surprise. Both may share the element of wide-eyed reveal, but it's the mouth's contortion that tells the true tale. Surprise takes on an amplified downturn compared to fear. Creating an environment where feedback can be seen in its true light is critical. Negative feedback, rather than a cause for dread, should signal a chance to improve. Embracing Carol Dweck's concept of the growth mindset primes you to swiftly acknowledge slip-ups and sees every new fork in the road as a learning curve. This approach does more than just urge you toward learning. It cements a persistent drive to evolve. Part 6. Expand your viewpoint to align fleeting choices with enduring goals. The rallying cry, YOLO, made famous by artist Drake, encourages a seize-the-day zeal without much thought for the morrow. Yet, should one always indulge in the here and now at the expense of long-term aspirations? Widening your lens of attention enables you to make choices that resonate with your future ambitions. Consider how fleeting impulses can derail us. When the author embarked on tracking spur-of-the-moment purchases with her students, their budget estimates fell short. They anticipated $1,600, but ended up splurging $2,400. The author herself gravitated toward unplanned gastronomic delights, a pattern that translated into extra dollars that could have funded her leisure activities or savings. It might seem counterintuitive to advocate for broad focus when we've already discussed the power of precision. Yet, it's not about one size fits all. It's about knowing which tool best fits the moment. Narrow focus serves as a beacon as you close in on your destination. But as you embark on your journey, a panoramic view often sets the stage more harmoniously. Athletes intuitively tune into this as they navigate their races. In the early miles, expanding their gaze helps them gauge their surroundings and pacing strategies. When the finish line draws near, their focus sharpens, guiding them through the final stride. Both strategies hold their weight in gold. Each has its season and its reason within your goal-chasing narrative. Understanding the appropriate mode of focus is not only pivotal in reaching your pinnacle, but also critical in recognizing when to release a dream that no longer serves you. Part 7. Embracing a wide perspective might unveil the right moment to wave goodbye to cherished ambitions. We all remember the childhood dreams that once made our eyes gleam, from star athletes to mighty astronauts. But have you ever reached a point where you realized it's time to let go of a dream so dear? That pivot is not a defeat. It's a crucial part of crafting a successful life narrative. A strategic, broadened focus reveals when it's time to shift gears from a long-cherished dream. Take Steve Sims, who chased the alluring world of stockbroking and found himself rebuffed. The pivot came brutally, with a firing in Hong Kong just days after he'd pursued his dream across oceans. Not one to wallow, Sims reinvented himself as a doorman to the nightlife scene and quickly became a nexus of connections among the city's affluent. Still, the world of finance beckoned, or so he thought, as he amassed influential contacts, hoping they'd be his return ticket to banking. Yet the banks had another proposition. They were more interested in bankrolling his swanky events than offering him a desk job. And so, Bluefish was born, with Sims orchestrating experiences fit for a storybook. Letting go isn't necessarily losing, it's an opening to reinvention. Consider Vera Wang, once a competitive figure skater with Olympic aspirations. When she didn't make the cut for the 1968 Games, a new chapter in Paris beckoned. There, amidst the cultural tapestry of the Sorbonne, her passion pivoted from the ice rink to the runway. Fashion became her new arena. Evidently, detours can lead to destinations more fulfilling than the original dream. In the following segment, we'll see how adopting a broader scope can reshape our notions of multitasking. Part 8. Reconsider the multitasking myth to keep your goals on track. Multitasking is often heralded as a coveted skill in today's job market. A glance at job listings on Monster.com in early 2019 revealed a high demand for juggling talents. However, despite its popularity, multitasking may be more of a hindrance than a help when it comes to achieving long-term successes. Embracing a wider scope of attention can actually diminish the lure of multitasking. This was brought to light in a study examining dieters. Psychologists from Swarthmore College and UCLA discovered that dieters indulging in multitasking consumed a whopping 40% more calories than when they focused on a single task. It seems that fragmentation of attention can lead to decisions we might later rue, particularly when they fly in the face of our overarching objectives. To sidestep these pitfalls, consider adopting what can be framed as a wide bracket viewpoint. This concept encourages a broader vision that pierces beyond the immediate, fostering choices that align with our grander aspirations. Still, it is noteworthy that multitasking isn't all doom and gloom. In certain scenarios, it can yield benefits. Diwas KC, a professor of statistics, scrutinized the effects of multitasking on emergency room doctors. He found that a modest increase in patient load actually expedited patient discharges. A slight uptick in responsibility, it appears, can enhance activity through a mild, cognitively stimulating stress. But like the dimming of lights at dusk, the glow of multitasking fades under excessive loads. When the doctors faced more than 4 patients, the mental juggling act morphed from help to hindrance, increasing patients' overall hospital stays. It's critical not to get so ensnared by the immediacies of the present that the broader picture is left out of focus. Final summary. Our eyes, though keen, only grant us a slice of reality, a curated vision of the world that doesn't always serve our aspirations. Yet, by adopting the perceptual wisdom of the triumphant few, we can hone our gaze to unlock new realms of achievement. It's about striking a balance between a laser-focused precision that propels us towards specific targets and a broad scope that ensures our efforts are harmonious with long-term ambitions. Crafting tangible, measurable plans and closely tracking our strides clears the fog on the road to success. Simultaneously, recognizing when and where to direct our attention can shield us from distractions and help discern when to persist and when to pivot our dreams. Mastering these visual strategies doesn't just adjust our viewfinder, it transforms the landscape of possibilities, guiding us to a future where our goals aren't just visible but vibrantly within reach. Thank you for joining me today on this journey of learning and discovery as we explored the insights of another thought-provoking book in our growing library of knowledge. If you've enjoyed our time together, please take a moment to follow our podcast, give us a 5-star rating, and share 20-minute books with other knowledge seekers. Your support truly means a lot. Don't forget to join me again in the next episode, where we will delve into another enriching book. Until then, happy reading and happy listening.